Alright, I'm Kyle. I'm going to be giving a critical review on Planet Google, one company's audacious plan to organize everything we know. Thank you, Blaine, for warming us up. Just a little bit about the author. The author's name is Randall Stross. He writes a New York Times column, The Digital Domain. He's a business professor at San Jose State. Some other works he has done is The Wizard of Menlo Park, which is a story, kind of a biography on Thomas Edison. The Microsoft Way, E-Boys, which is all about venture capitalism. And then Steve Jobs and the Next Big Thing, which obviously is about Apple. This is the book content. There's chapter Open and Closed, which talks about Google's belief that all information should be open and everyone should have access to it. They would be a big supporter of WikiLeaks, I believe. Unlimited Capacity talks about how Google started, how they just had small computers, and eventually how they have been able to store all the information. The Algorithm talks about their mathematical equation that ranks web pages so that there is no human intervention. It's all based on the mathematical equation, and that way there's no bias, and that's far different than all the existing search engines. The Moonshot talks about Google's attempt to organize all the information in books, articles, different sorts of other hard-copied print that's not found online. And so far, that hasn't. They've made scans. They've run into huge copyright issues, and it just hasn't been profitable for them. Next comes GooTube, which, like the book review, or the book index, has also not been profitable for Google. They purchased YouTube, and although they get a ton of traffic, all it's really doing for them so far is taking up their bandwidth and space. Small World After All talks about Google Earth and things like Google Street View, where they have really made it so you can sit in your desk and go anywhere in the world. Even though this is seen as a great thing to most people, a lot of people have issues with their privacy. Their faces are on the internet, seen in front of places they wouldn't want to be seen. Some guy sued because he was found in front of a strip club. Just things like that. But Google maintains that they're on public streets. Anyone could drive by your house. Why not let them drive by on your computer? Personal Matter kind of goes along with the issues of privacy. This is more about Gmail and things like Google Documents, where they can actually read through your email, and even though it's computerized, where they read through it and then make an advertisement on the side that would make it relevant, people still don't like the concept that they are going through their email. Google argues that virus tracking software, other things scan your email all the time, and it's really not a big deal to them. They don't realize why other people think it's a big deal. And then Algorithm Meet Humanity. This kind of talks about some things that they've actually recently gone in and done human intervention in their search results. Things like when someone would type in O'Reilly, they would only get results for Bill O'Reilly. So they kind of split it into 3 different sections, where it would be Bill O'Reilly, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and then another O'Reilly. And then they also kind of want to know when it would be best to make it a Google image or news articles that are relevant to the search topic. To kind of go through Google's beginning again. Founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin while they were grad students at Stanford University. Their thesis topic was to create a mathematical algorithm to determine, to rank web pages, have their crawler go through as many web pages as possible, and provide that to end consumers. Their first site was google.stanford.edu. Search results would take up to 10 minutes to receive. They really worked hard to narrow that down. I think the last Google search I took 0.05 seconds. And they originally created their technology to be sold to another engine such as Excite or Yahoo, Alta Vista. And then their slogan that they've established since the beginning is "Don't be evil." This is kind of their chapter about their data collection, is how they started standing on loading docks waiting for new computers to come into Stanford and then begging the people for their old computer. Then eventually that wasn't enough space for all their information, so they took out multiple loans to buy 1 terabyte hard drives. Finally, they began just amassing all these computers, putting all like the processors on and motherboards in one big rack, but instead of like a server, it was home computers. And this they thought was much more cost effective than servers. Eventually, they started renting data space around the country to make searches faster. Plus, if they had a data center on the East Coast and on the West Coast, if the one on the West Coast failed, they'd still be able to stay up and running with their East Coast. And then finally, they started building their own data centers personalized to their needs, close to electricity hubs and close to large populations so that searches are as fast as possible. And they just recently built one in Council Bluffs. Google today performs 63% of internet searches. It is ranked, has been ranked multiple times as the top place to work by Forbes magazine. And they've ventured into software, internet browsers, such as Google Chrome. They have a Picasa picture manager, and they also have the Android on mobile phones. Some main problems that Google faces today are their privacy concerns, the acquisition of YouTube, and a lot of their projects have not been profitable for them, and also copyright infringements. My analysis, I thought this book was well researched. The information was great, and it was very understandable, almost to the point where if you weren't tech savvy at all, you'd still be able to understand the book. It includes both praise and criticism for the company. It's not just a Google fan book that doesn't look at the other side. And at the time of the writing, almost all of Google's main services were included in the book. I thought that the book probably could have been edited a little better. It had a lot more, it seemed to repeat its information a lot to the point where I felt like I had already read. Like, I was like, I think that I've already read this. And so I thought maybe it could have been a little more concise. They didn't need to make it as wordy as they did. And it kind of read like a textbook, like doing research. And I thought that when the author did provide stories of Brilliant Page, it really read well, and I wish he would have done more of that. Overall, I think that it was a good book, but I would probably recommend reading something more current, obviously, because of how fast technology changes, and that's about it.